Okay, this last example we are going to go over is going to show us having us solve for a variable when we are dealing with an equation where where you're not going to get a number answer, right? So you're solving for a variable in terms of other variables. So your answer looks kind of messy, but and you don't get that satisfaction of getting like x equals 4 or whatever it is, right? But you do use the same steps, and it's no different. So we are going to take a look at this. So this is asking us to take this formula, which is right here. This is for a trapezoid. The area is equal to 1/2 the height times the quantity of the two bases added together, right? Base 1 and base 2. H is the height. These are your bases, and they want us to solve this formula for the second base. And I'm assuming that they would have you do that because maybe they're going to give you the height in the first base, and then you have to find what that lower base is, right? So let's do that. So we're going to start by writing out the formula, right? So we have something to work with. And then we're going to do something that's going to make our life a little easier. All right. And what we're going to do is, you see how we have this is multiplying by this, right? And this is a fraction. And I don't want to deal with fractions. Fractions are kind of annoying. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this fraction. And the way you get rid of a fraction is to look at the denominator and multiply by it. Okay? And if you have more than one fraction, then you would do the common denominator between the two of them, but we just have one. So we're going to multiply this side by 2, and we're going to multiply this side by 2. Now you can show it like this, or you could show it by putting one big bracket around the whole thing, right? But I'm going to do it like this just for simplicity. So this is going to give you 2a right here. And then what happens is this 2 and this 1/2 cancel, and then you're left with everything else, right? Because you don't multiply it by this, because this isn't plus, right? This is a multiplication thing. So you're going to have h times b1 plus b2 in parentheses, all right? And so the next step would be, let's get rid of the parentheses, okay? That's probably one way of doing it. There's another way to do it, but we'll go with that. So we'll go 2a is equal to, we'll say b1h plus b2h. All right? So what we will do now is we will say, okay, we want to get b2 by itself. So what we need to do in order for that to happen is we need to get this term alone. So we're going to get rid of this. All right, so we're going to go 2a. We're going to do that by subtracting this term from both sides. Now, when you subtract this term from this side, you can't really combine anything. So it's just going to give you 2a minus the first base times the height. Okay, and that cancels this out. And then you're left here with the second base times the height. And then your last step is like, well, how would you isolate that second base? Well, you would divide the whole thing by h, right? And that gets rid of this. And then you have a height here. And then your final answer is your second base. And I'm turning it around because you can do that with the symmetric property. So we're going to go 2a minus base 1 times the height times your height. And you're finished. And you're using the same principles and ideas that you've always used. So hope this is helpful. Go and have some fun solving crazy equations.